Good morning, welcome to lesson 2. Thank you to all the people that completed the rates of reaction calculations yesterday. It is quite a tough topic to do from home, and you will again have to watch the videos. You will have to do some of your own reading. It might be good to have the revision guide with you while you go through the lessons, just to make sure that you have all the support you need. Now, today you are going to be looking at something a little different. So you're going to be looking at factors that affect the rate of reaction. The first thing I'm just going to say is that for a reaction to occur, you have to have the molecules in the reaction bouncing off each other or colliding with each other with enough energy to create a product. Now, where they get the energy and things that can affect how much energy they have and how much they collide and create these products is really important in calculating the rate of a reaction. So that is what we're going to look at today. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do the top 5 recall questions. They're all based on stuff that you did yesterday. It's not a trick. If you go to yesterday's lesson and you have a look, you can get the answers from there as well. Now, once you've done that, can you have a look at these 4 apples? Now, you're just having a look. You don't need to write anything down unless you want to. And then you are moving on to this slide. Now, the question is being asked by Matthew. So Matthew is saying apples go brown when their flesh reacts with air. Which apple will go brown the quickest? And you've got 3 people who are giving their opinion. Now, on the next slide, what you've got to do is use the information on the next slide, so this slide here, and to decide who was right out of Molly, Tim, and Simon. You're going to use scientific evidence, so what's on this slide, to justify the person you think is right. And you will get extra marks if you tell me why the other people are incorrect. I'm not asking for a big essay. This could be something that might be a 6-mark question. I am just asking you to say, is Simon, Molly, or Tim right, and why they're right, based on the stuff that you're going to read off the next slide. Now, once you've done that, there is a graph. Now, the rates of reaction module is done with lots of graphs. If I was teaching this at school, there would be lots of graphs. You'll be interpreting graphs. You'll be looking at what the graphs are telling you about the rate of a reaction. So I have to make sure that I'm putting them in now so that when we come back to school and we go over this again, you've seen the graphs and we can just make sure we're reinforcing all of the concepts. So in general, which will react faster, and you've got 2 little questions about what the graph is actually telling you. And I've put a little place to put your answers because some people asked for that yesterday. Now, there are some more videos by this guy that my year 11's called Keith, and they're just really good because he puts it in a really simple way, and it will help you if you actually read that along with your revision guide and answering those questions in the revision guide in the white book and sending them to me, because I have the answers and I can give you them, and then you can mark them and see if you're right. I don't care if you come back to school and you give me the whole revision guide to mark, I'll do that as well. Now, the next thing is the effects of concentration on the rate of reaction. So there are 3 questions on this slide for you to answer. Then there's another video if you want to look at the video, and there's some information before you get this graph. Now, on these 2 graphs, you have to describe the trend. So you have to describe the pattern, what's happening, what's it telling you, what happens when this increases or this increases to the rate of reaction. So if you increase it over time, what is happening as you increase the concentration? Over time, what's happening when you increase the temperature? Now, you might already know what's going to happen when you increase the temperature to the rate of reaction because we've done this in school before. The problem is in year 10 and year 11, you have to be able to pull the information from a graph. Now, remember what I said last time, make sure you're putting in values from the graph. And then, why do you think higher concentrations and temperatures cause faster rate of reactions? That's a harder question. That is thinking about the particles. So if there's a higher concentration and it's higher temperature, why is that going to cause the particles to behave differently or just create more product? And then why does the volume of gas produced at each concentration and temperature act the same at the end? That answer to that is on the first lesson. So if you go back and you look at why the line's flattened out, it'll give you the answer to that. Now, there's some information about temperature, a video about temperature, and then the last little bit is a simple quiz. So there are 7 questions, go through each question, answer them, and then the answers are afterwards. That quick flash was the answers. So be honest, make sure you write down what you get right, because when we come back to school, especially for year 10, I need to be able to look and think, right, we need to go back over this. Don't worry if you don't understand everything right now. It is a really hard module to try and teach online. You're going to have to do your own reading, there's no way around that. If you're finding it difficult, that's fine, it is difficult. But if you read around it, you look at your revision guide, and you watch this video, and you ask me questions, then you will get this right. And when we come back to school, I am going to go back over this module, year 10. So don't feel like you've been left out there with this really hard module that you don't understand and Miss Hughes isn't going to do anything about it. And maybe by the end of the week, you might understand it a little bit better. So tomorrow we're going to do collision theory, which is the particles and all the molecules or the atoms clashing into each other and how that works. So that might actually put all of the first lesson and this lesson together in a nice little bundle. Now, again, any questions, just ask and just do your best.